Turn it off.
Jacob, say something.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Nick, turn it off. Turn it off. Hold it down. Let me see the light. Okay. All right. Now, does it sound better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
My gosh.
This is exactly how my brothers and I talk to each other.
Then you'll fit right in, man.
Let me know when you're rolling, bro.
We got audio rolling. I'm about to start the video.
Okay.
Can you hear me? No, your headphones aren't on.
Not yet. No. We're going to start with this. I guess, when the lights are on. Okay. So, Nick, I've got a confession.
You forgot your cord.
I love that he just guessed it. He just guessed it. Like he didn't. He didn't even
listen,
give
man.
me a chance because this is. I was chewing Nick out before we.
No, he came up to me and said, "Nick, this is a serious matter."
And I
said,
was
"I'm being serious."
I was overly serious,
and he was pointing at me like I was 12. I'm serious, man.
I really was. I was serious.
Don't forget your cord.
Don't forget your cord because I know you'll forget it if you don't get reminded. And this is like I had already forgotten it whenever I was chewing you out. Like it was at home. I have to leave the apartment with it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here chewing you out.
Yeah.
And I didn't even have it. And I didn't know that I didn't have it until I got here.
Yeah. Yeah.
At 6:45.
You see, if the roles were reversed here,
I would have.
He would not be living this down for 6 weeks. But fortunately, I'm cool like that. Yeah. I understand. Besides, when you told me that today.
Cool is an overstatement, but okay.
And I told you, I'm going home at lunch to get my headphones, dude.
You did.
I was lying.
I'm sorry.
I totally forgot them.
Did you? Did you really?
Yeah, I totally forgot my headphones.
Oh, because you were supposed to bring them. Okay, so we both forgot.
Not really. I was going to go home anyway.
To go all the way back home to get my cord because
I was going to go home anyway, though. So.
Anyway. Welcome to Nick's Right Podcast.
Are we on?
Welcome to Nick's Right Podcast.
All right.
Where Nick is always right. Gen Xer, old millennial. We have a special guest today. If people don't know yet, or if I haven't said it, I have been Uber driving, and it's been a pretty interesting experience. Actually, I'm making pretty good money doing it.
Selling his body on Uber.
No, but we're going to introduce some new nicknames before we introduce our guest. Since there's two Nicks on the Nick's Right Podcast, Nick is 5'6" and has no neck, and I'm 6'3" and I have a lot of neck. So he is.
Why did I tell you this?
He is no neck Nick, and I'm Nick the Neck. It's
Nick the Neck.
That's going to be our new slogan. No neck Nick and Nick the Neck. So anyway. We're going to pray.
There's going to be a quiz.
We're going to pray, and then we're going to introduce our guests, and then we're going to our sponsors, or we'll probably do it at different.
Are you going to take 7 minutes to introduce our sponsors?
No. I'm going to try to do it as soon as possible.
You can if you want.
I mean, they are our sponsors, so we want to give them a lot.
And they're awesome. But 7 minutes, man?
Okay. All right. Lord Jesus, thank you. Thank you for this time. Thank you for the ability to come here, have fun, and may this podcast glorify you. May us have a lot of viral moments in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
So first, let's introduce our new guest. Can you tell me how to say your last name?
Yeah, it's Arvizu. It's a Spanish name. So,
Arvizu?
Yeah, so just think of a RV with a zoo in it.
I love it.
Arvizu. Okay. So it's Jacob Arvizu.
Yes, sir.
Jacob is one of my awesome. Actually, you are probably still to this day my most expensive fare. I don't remember where we started, but I remember where we ended up, which was
started in Farmers Branch.
Farmers Branch, which is near where I live. I live in Coppell,
and ended up
in Seagoville.
Oh my god!
And it was in the middle of rush hour.
Oh yeah.
So
what did that cost?
$45.
$45.
$45. I was happy about it.
See, I was going to guess like 75.
Wait, can you tell me what
45? Okay.
Yeah, I've paid somewhere around that.
Is it 45, 46?
A little bit around there. Maybe it's 47.
Okay. So the reason,
no tip.
I tipped a little bit.
Yeah, he tipped. By the way, anybody when it comes to tipping on Uber, you don't have to.
I wouldn't.
I think you're about to be an Uber driver too, right?
Yeah, I'm going to.
You're actually Uber drivers make a pretty good wage, so you don't have to tip. The tips are great. We love the tips because that means we get to keep all that, and Uber doesn't keep any of it. But it's just an added bonus because we
is Uber cool with
wage.
that?
Yeah, they're the ones that made it available.
Okay. All right.
Nick,
if someone tried to tip me, I wouldn't be able to take it. I wouldn't be allowed to take it.
Oh, dude, I had a lady that I think
that's not with Uber. That's at where I work.
I had a lady I picked up from Dallas Love Field, and we went to Forney, which is pretty far out there with no traffic.
That's kind of close to me.
Oh yeah. It's out in the same
20
direction.
minutes.
And she tipped me $25 cash. She just
Nice.
There you go, man. This is why I say you should Uber like between 10 at night and 2 in the morning.
no
Because the tips.
No. He's even saying no.
He said, no, I'll do it. I can get some
Yeah,
tips.
you could as long as you have leather seats, that'd be the only way. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it, because that's the only way you're going to be able to get it clean if someone throws up in your car.
People throw it
Anyway,
up.
Jacob Arvizu. Okay, I had to. Jacob Arvizu. He was one of my writers, and went a pretty far away. And he said one thing. I asked him, I think a political question. I can't remember necessarily what question, but one of his responses was very, I need to have you on the podcast. So you wouldn't consider yourself liberal or conservative, would you?
I say I'm in the middle, leaning towards the right.
Leaning towards the right. So you're more of a moderate.
I would say that.
Is there
moderate,
such
okay.
a thing anymore? I mean, do you feel, as a moderate, do you feel like your pool of moderates is narrowing at all?
For sure. Well, because, I came from California. Everyone's pretty much left.
Yeah.
But, I was thinking about it today. My parents were both very left. And then as years went by, they started to become very red too. So, but my dad's also a Teamster. So it's like they tend to lean towards the blues.
We use Teamsters in film.
Teamsters used to be very, very blue. Like they were the bulk of the Democrat Party, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
But they're starting to swing right because, they're not on board with all of the left-wing mumbo jumbo garble.
Yeah, it's more the mumbo jumbo.
Gobbledygook.
Yeah, the gobbledygook. I like that one better.
So that's interesting. He's a Teamster.
Yeah.
So
second generation too.
Really? We'd have
Yeah.
to have him on the podcast. Probably some pretty good
that
conversation.
probably is, yeah. What generation is your dad? I forget. Is he a boomer?
So he is born 1975.
Oh, yeah. He's younger than me, man. He's an Xer.
Oh, he's an Xer. Okay,
yeah.
great.
Hey, I just wanted to shout me out real quick because I was born in 96. So they argue that's Gen Z millennial. So I lean more towards millennial because technically I am one, but
Actually, I would call
I was
you.
going to ask, what do you
Zillennial.
identify? What do you identify
Don't say that.
as?
Don't say that.
I
No,
identify as a man.
I call you a zillennial.
I like that.
Zillennial.
A
cool.
zillennial.
Yeah.
So, but I'm glad you identify as a man because that's what you are.
Yes.
So I want to get right into the nitty gritty. What you said.
Sponsorships.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Patriot Mobile. Go to patriotmobile.com/NRP to get your free month. I think if you also go to patriotmobile.com and put in the code holiday25, you'll get 2 months free, and just make sure that you tell people that we are the ones that referred you. That way we still get the credit, and you will not find any better cell phone service out there.
What's the code?
NRP, Nick's Right Podcast.
Would you say holiday 25?
Oh, Holiday 25 is the holiday promotion they're doing right now. So
That's the
Holiday
promotion.
25, and then instead of putting in NRP, you put in Holiday 25, and then just there'd be a drop down box where you can say Nick's Right Podcast.
See, I thought that sounded different.
It did.
Holiday 25 and NRP sound
You
different.
heard everything I said. He's not confused. Okay. Anyway, Live Audio and
LIVV.
oh gosh, Mark, I'm sorry.
Don't forget your cord.
I apologize. I chewed Nick out for not forgetting his cord, or just anyway, and I forgot my cord. Anyway, I will be wearing these next time, but I wear these every day. Anyway, Nick is actually wearing his, which is different.
Nice.
And so these are some of the best over-the-ear headphones.
Yeah, they're awesome.
When it comes to wanting to do physical activity, but we'll be wearing these every podcast when we record. And soon we'll get a third pair so we can let our guests wear them as well.
And Nick thinks I never wear mine, but I do every day at home.
He doesn't.
Yes, I do.
Anyway,
Yeah,
not as much as me.
Is that what I said? Where'd the comparison come from? And actually, it's probably pretty comparable. I wear them all the time.
Just not whenever
Basically
I see you.
all night.
Okay. All right. So Live Audio, LIVVaudio.com. Go to liveaudio.com. And actually, I found out that he's kicked it up to a 15% discount. So if you put in the code NRP at liveaudio.com, LIVV, not LIVE, but LIVV audio.com, put in the code NRP, 15% discount. These are premium headphones, by the way. These are better than Bose. These are
If
better
you work
than JBL.
out at the gym, you'll love these headphones.
Oh, these are amazing.
because
I use them every day.
They're designed specifically for being active and hitting the gym and doing whatever you do that's active. So
I want to make sure this is
they're
in
awesome.
I want to make sure this is in the shot. Where's it in the shot?
Right there. Right there.
Right there. There we go. I like that. Okay. So we just got to make sure our brands are out there. We potentially have a third brand coming, which is going to be hopefully Holy Water, but we'll be talking to them. They like the growth we're having. By the way, shout out to Nick's Riot Podcast. We just hit 9.5 million views within the past 30 days.
Wow.
9.5 million.
No thanks to me, and I have no problem giving all the credit to that to Nick, because Nick does all of our social networking.
Day, like I do all of the social media stuff, but I also do all the off episodes videos, like reaction videos and whatnot, which we're going to do an episode here pretty soon where we just react to videos. That's going to be fun.
So I give credit to Nick for now.
Well,
I'll get busy.
Anyway,
I'll come up with some videos.
All right, so
you watch.
Patriot Mobile, patriotmobile.com/NRP or patriotmobile.com. Go to holiday or put in the code holiday25 and make sure you reference or tell them that we referred you so we can get credit for that. Live Audio, livaudio.com, code NRP for a 15% discount. Awesome headphones. Okay. Sponsors taken care of.
Sweet. Now, what were you going to ask Jacob? Because you.
Well, no. I wanted to get into the nitty gritty of what triggered me to want to bring him on the podcast, because he said something that was very like, oh, really? And do you remember what you said?
Was it about Charlie Kirk? Yeah. I knew we were going to go there.
He said, yeah.
All right.
Well, do you want to say it? I want you to give your perspective.
I was actually thinking about it on the drive here. I think it stems from me coming from California and just knowing how the hard left people are. I kind of tie it towards Trump too. Like anytime I hear Trump say something that's really out of the normal that someone else would say, I think, man, someone's going to try to shoot this guy if he keeps saying stuff like that. And, when I'd watch Charlie Kirk's videos, I would get that same kind of feeling too. Like you said, people have the freedom of speech, say whatever they want. They should never be punished for saying what they want. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't think that way. So
yeah. Well, that's not what you said. I'm going to tell you what you said.
Okay, remind me.
So I can't remember
I'm like, that's
how
not very
Charlie. No, that's actually a good response.
That makes sense to me.
He gives an insight of like, I used to be around these people. I know what they're capable of.
Oh yeah.
But that's not what he said. He said something to the nature of when it comes to talking about what happened to Charlie Kirk. He's like, I can understand why the liberals did what they did, because if you rage bait people, they're going to retaliate.
Yeah, I think maybe I didn't elaborate on my fullest thoughts on that. Okay. Maybe I've thought more about what I said too.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying that they should have done that, but
I don't think that's what you were communicating. I think, plus it was after work. And so we were talking freely on the Uber drive. And so, but I also could tell that you were very articulate in what you did, and that I could probably tell that you leaned right, but that kind of caught my eye, and I'm like, I don't think he rage baited anybody.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of agree with the first half of that statement. I can understand why they did it too, because he's their greatest threat. He gets on stage and heads explode because they can't handle what he says. I wouldn't say there was any rage baiting. Of course, they're going to say it was rage baiting because when you disagree with them or prove them wrong or have a different opinion, it just goes straight from conversation to rage bait. On the left. And I'm like, I mean, if that's what rage baiting is to the left, I'm not talking about you, Jacob, to people on the left, then they really don't have any problems in life, man, because everything is good for them.
Yeah.
They're making it up in their own heads and in their own minds. And so, but that's what happens when you never grow up. That's what happens.
Jacob, how old are you?
I'm 29.
You're 29. Okay, you're the same age as my girlfriend.
Nice. It's a good age.
Yeah, that's a good age. She's wishing she was 30.
She's from California.
She lives in Palm Springs.
Okay.
Yeah. What part of California are you
I'm from Bakersfield, California.
Bakersfield. Yes, sir. Wait, what part of California is that?
It's sort of Central South, right?
Central South?
I mean, yeah, it's Central South, but technically we are Southern California. We're fighting for that. People try to take that from us, saying that we're not SoCal, but technically we are.
Do you really want to be SoCal right now?
Right now, no, but when I think about everything good about California, I like to think about SoCal.
Yeah. Well, because that's where all the fun is,
right?
I think. My brother lives in San Diego, and even though Jay, I say Jay because that's not his real name. Jay is.
I call him K.
No, he doesn't. But Jay is, I love him to death. He has got a great mind. He's very super intellectual. But when it comes to certain things, and maybe we can get into this, he thinks the rich should be taxed more.
Well, see, that's exactly the opposite of what should happen, I think.
Okay, so
I think none of us should. We should.
What do you think about the rich being taxed? Are you for them being taxed more?
I feel like the more you tax them, the more they try to figure out how to take the money elsewhere. It's not a really good idea, you know?
Yeah, no, that's not a good idea.
Okay, well, I like that answer, but I want to dive a little bit more deeper into that. Do you think anyone should be a billionaire?
I think they should.
Yeah, okay, all right. So he's definitely leaning on the right here.
Yeah,
this is good. Yeah. When it comes to the ability to not pay taxes, should those abilities be in what do you call it? The sphere of taxes? Like, should there be an ability to be able to not pay taxes?
I think hypothetically, yeah.
Okay. So what you're saying is, when it comes to Donald Trump and Elon Musk and all these rich people who don't have to pay a lot of taxes because they know how to work the tax system, is that a bad thing?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. What do you think?
Well, actually, you say hypothetically. There's nothing hypothetical about it.
No, they do it, and he admits to doing it, like Trump does.
Well, I think you said, Jacob, hypothetically it could be possible.
Well, I thought they still pay it anyways, regardless.
Yeah. Well, constitutionally, there was no such thing as a federal income tax until 1916.
No, 1913.
Yeah, I heard about that
13?
actually.
Yeah. So half of the history of our United States, there was no federal income tax.
And we were more wealthy before that happened.
Absolutely.
Like, as a country, we were way more wealthy.
How could you not be more wealthy without an income tax? And the income tax came along right about the time the big banking cabal set up I saw a whole video. The Federal Reserve, which, by the way, is not federal, nor is there a reserve.
So, gosh, yeah, that could be a whole episode on its own.
Oh yeah, it could be a whole episode on its own. So I not only do I think the tax should not be taxed more, I think everybody should be taxed less. In fact, I think we should go back to the way it was in 1913. No tax.
Oh, it was all federal income tax. Tariffs. It was all tariffs.
It was all tariffs. Yeah, that's how we afforded everything. And think about this, man. If you get rid of taxes like it used to be, people can't fathom that a system where there's no taxes. But if you get rid of taxes, the question then becomes, well, who's going to build our infrastructure? Who's going to do all of these things, have all these programs that the government's currently responsible for? Well, the private sector is going to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the toll roads. Those aren't federal. I don't even think they're state. I think those are privately.
No, they're city. They're city.
No, I mean, they might be city, but
because it goes to the city.
But at least, it goes to the city. But at least that construction is done by local people for local people.
Yeah.
And it gets a bit closer to the private sector. You know. So
all right.
I mean, someone's making a lot of money off of those.
So what about this little scenario? Because I talked to a liberal in the car one time, and he was like, "No, I don't think there should be any millionaires. I think they should give their money away." And I'm like,
oh, to him, I'm sure.
Here's what I asked him, though. And you guys can chime in with your thoughts or criticisms if you want to. I was like, so what if you were the billionaire? Would you want people coming to you asking for the money? And he's like, oh, no. If I was a billionaire, I wouldn't want that. And I'm like, but so, and my mind kind of exploded a little bit. And thankfully, this was one of those liberals that was humble, which is hard to say for any liberal.
It's unusual. Sure.
Yeah, but he was humble enough to say whenever I created a good...
You mean he wasn't the center of all creation?
No.
Wow.
It was just really funny because he would make comments or make accusations or claims, and then I would refute those claims with, facts and proof. And he'd be like, you know what? I'm not educated enough to give a rebuttal. And I'm like, that's...
well, then you're not educated enough to create the opinion you have in the first place.
Well, but that's the thing. That's what the liberals have done. That's what the left-wing media has done. That's what the Democrats have done. Yeah. They've created these people who think this way because of the false narrative they push. Anyway, your thoughts, Jacob, when it comes to liberals who want people to or want billionaires and rich people to give away their money, but yet they wouldn't be willing to give it away themselves.
It just sounds like a contradiction within itself. I think that they're just not really thinking thoroughly about it.
Imagine that.
That's not like the basis of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think they are not the voters. but the representatives. I think they are thinking thoroughly about it. They're just not hiding their agenda anymore, is what I think.
Well, there's a lot of that going on, but it depends.
I'm going to clip that, by the way. That's going to be a.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, that's perfect.
That was such a good comment.
Well, it depends on what your definition of thinking thoroughly about it is. If thinking thoroughly just means pondering pondering.
By the way,
opinion,
he likes to really, really get down to the minutia of things, and sometimes you'll lose train of thought just listening to him. Anyway.
Not if you're smart. Listen, if thinking about it thoroughly means pondering some opinion, then fine, they're thinking about it thoroughly. But if thinking about it thoroughly is backed by some sort of critical preponderance where you're weighing facts and stuff
that no one
like
else
that,
uses too.
Not if you're smart. But anyway,
I gotta be his new saying. Not if you're smart.
Yeah. But anyway, then no, I don't even think they think thoroughly about it. They just open their mouth, and it's like they pull the Kamala Harris, where just a bunch of words come out, and nothing is actually said.
All right, so I want to move into something. I want to ask you questions. These are questions that I asked. I had to stop asking these questions to writers, by the way.
Okay,
because someone complained about me. And they reported me. They reported me. They said it was discriminatory language.
Uber platform.
I was so upset. And
asking questions.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna.
What do you think about the War of 1812?
Nice.
You're fired.
Well, because some people would be like, I don't know which way I lean, and I'm like, I can ask you questions to figure that out. So I'm gonna ask you the questions. I think I asked one of these questions in the car. Does life happen at conception?
It does.
Okay. All right. We're leaning right. We're on our way. All right, second one.
I would say that pegs a person as right.
Well, hang on. I got another one.
Well, given that debate, sure. But
how many genders are there?
2.
We're full right now. We're full right.
Yeah. What makes you think, or what about you is libertarian?
Libertarian or liberal?
Libertarian.
Okay,
you're libertarian. You're centrist, right?
We talked about this in the car ride. I think that if you want to sin and you want to do an abortion, then that's your choice to do that.
So you believe in pro-choice, you just don't think it's the right choice.
I don't think it's right, but I think if that's what you're going to do, you're going to have to pay for it however you pay for it later on in life or death, Yeah,
it's like Bill Burr. You know who Bill Burr is?
I don't.
He's a comedian. And he said, look, I am completely against... No. He said, I'm completely for abortion. If a woman wants to do that to her body, go right ahead. Still murder. Right. You're still killing a baby.
Right. 100%.
Okay, so I think that's where I really kind of nailed down that I'm like, oh, this would be good on the podcast. So you believe in pro-choice.
Right.
I actually saw somebody doing the whole, man on the street with the sign, and he would, debate with people, and it was about abortion. And he even said, oh, I'm pro-choice. I just want to tell you what choice to make.
Right.
And so I think that's where you kind of lean.
Right.
Like you're going to say, I want them to have the ability to choose, but I'm going to tell them to choose life.
100%.
Okay. So now the argument is more of, should there be prison time consequence for abortion?
You have to give me more context.
So like if someone, now we're moving into the category of like, if we want to implement this to where abortion is illegal, should it have the same kind of consequences as murdering somebody?
Man, that's a tough question, honestly.
I don't think it is. I think it should. Like, okay, here's my argument. If in California, it's a double homicide to kill a woman who's pregnant, why shouldn't it be homicide to have an abortion?
That's a good point.
So
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that goes against pro-choice because that takes away your choice. Well, it doesn't necessarily take away your choice. You can still do it
for sure.
But I think the consequences need to be higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too, because the moralistic view. Oh, write it down, Nick. Write it down. I said moralistic.
I'm going to throw something at you, dude. I think there should be a segment where he says a word and then he starts badgering me and then I throw something.
All right. Well, okay. The good view is if you look at it, if you look at the definition of what a choice is, it's an arbitrary decision. That's what the definition is. Like, do I want to wear my flats or my heels today? Do I want to?
Oh, we're talking about women. He loves to bag.
Okay. Do I want to wear my Doc Martens or my tennis shoes? It's just an arbitrary choice. So if the choice to kill a child is something you consider to be arbitrary, that's evil.
Yeah,
that's just evil. So, and if you think about it, women don't get abortions because they choose to. They get abortions because they feel like they don't have any other choice.
Like, that's what's been pushed to them.
That's what's been pushed to them. That's the lie that they believe.
Yeah.
And so there's no choice. They call it pro-choice. Where's the choice? And is how I look at it.
Well,
so yeah,
they've been pushed this narrative. I just saw a clip, and it was Kate Blanchett. I showed Nick. I sent it to him, and it was literally Hollywood. It was a Hollywood scene in a movie. I don't even remember which movie, but it was Kate Blanchett basically fighting. Yeah, I've never seen that movie. She was fighting for conservative women to be mothers in the home and not having this liberal agenda pushed down their throats.
Not have them looked at with scorn.
Yeah, because they're mothers that want to take care of the home.
Yeah, because feminists tend to look at women who choose to. They say a woman should have the choice to do whatever she wants to do, go to college, have a profession, do whatever. But as soon as a woman chooses to be a housewife and a mother, which...
Go ahead.
What?
Just have a rebuttal. Go ahead.
Okay.
Don't get distracted. Keep going.
Don't forget it.
I'm not.
Okay. But as soon as a woman makes that choice, well, then they're buying into the patriarchy, or they're happy with their oppression or whatever. And that was kind of Kate Blanchett's character's view. I don't know if it's Kate Blanchett's view or not, but
probably
I would hope so. But
my follow-up question to you, Nick, is how many times did you watch that video?
I know I saw it twice all the way through, but I would watch parts of it multiple times.
Several times.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you if you want to see it. It's actually a really good video.
Why? How many times did you watch it?
Well, I reacted to it, so several. But I don't retain information the way you do. Like I had to actually sit there and memorize it to be able to retain, because you were spouting it off like I heard it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyway,
you know what they call it, Nick? Memorization, man.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, Jacob.
I'm sorry. It was a dickish thing for me to say.
It's okay. That's all right. We're dicks to each other. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've thought about this before too, and I wonder if that has anything to do with, women only being able to work within the past 70 years, roughly.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if maybe they're trying to push that agenda of you should work anyways, because they're looking at the amount of time that they've been able to work, and they're thinking, oh, well, if we just push the women to want to work anyways, and eventually we'll be at a different level in the workspace than we were before.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually not true.
Okay, here we go.
Women have always been able to work. There's never been a law saying women can't work, at least not that I'm aware of. The problem is, if you look at what women did 100 years ago, back in 1925, you'll see that it's broken down into, I think, 9 categories: teachers, some sort of administrators, nurses, and whatever else.
Administrators, you mean secretaries?
Secretaries, assistants, all these.
That's now a word that you can't call them anymore.
What?
You can't call them secretaries anymore. It's executive assistant.
Well, look, man, I don't call them princes. I call them princesses.
We said that.
Just like they're actresses and waitresses and assistances.
Do you have any sisters?
But I'm not done, man.
No.
I'm not done.
Do you have any brothers?
I have 2 brothers.
2 brothers. Okay.
Listen,
Where do you
man.
Where do you fall in the lineup?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest,
big bro.
And you're 29. How old is the youngest?
My youngest brother's 20. He's in the Marines, and my other brother, he's 25.
Oh, damn.
Okay, so y'all are kind of evenly spaced out.
Yeah, my youngest brother, we're 8.5 years apart.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
8.5. Mm-hmm. And your second brother is how much younger than you?
3 2/3 of a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm the middle child. My brother's not even 2 years older than me, but my sister's 4.5 years younger than me, which means there was oops baby. It was an oops baby.
Hold on. You're the middle child?
Yeah.
And you're the oldest child?
Yeah.
So you're the oldest, you're the middle, and I'm the youngest.
Nice.
Yeah.
Being the oldest is the best, honestly. I wish more people could know what that feels like.
I commend my older brother because he taught me a lot. He got in trouble all the time, and I didn't. Trust me.
Yeah. You learn.
I was grounded for a whole year one time.
A whole year? Yeah. Oh, that sounds like an interesting... Did you say something liberal? Or no?
Maybe.
Maybe. Anyway, what were you saying?
Did you get an abortion?
Nick.
So if you...
I will punch a ball guy.
If you look... You better punch hard, sucker. 'Cause I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
So 100 years ago, 1925. Look at the professions that women were doing. There, you can break them down into 9 different categories. I don't know what the categories are. We all kind of do.
But they were working as well.
Warehouse, right?
No, not quite. Yeah, they weren't.
Wait, was that a serious question?
Like Great Depression wasn't like the babies working, and then wasn't everybody
trolling right now, or is this are you serious?
I thought so, right? Wasn't that?
I can't tell if you're trolling because you're smiling.
No, because I thought like everyone was so poor that like everybody.
So the women had to step up because everybody was in more. Is that what happened?
The Great Depression changed the thing. You can't really compare times to the Great Depression because the Great Depression was unique unto itself, and it didn't happen until 1929 to 1939 or something like that.
Yeah.
And what got us out of the Great Depression was World War II.
Right.
But in 1925, it's called the gay 20s because everyone was happy. Everyone was happy.
Okay. I thought you were going a different road.
Because they're happy. No, gay.
Because I'm like, no, that would be the 90s, Nick.
Yeah. Well, gay didn't mean gay
I know.
until like the 1960s.
It's another liberal thing where they took a word that meant something else and changed it. Yes.
So the point that I'm really laboring to make is that if you look at the women, 1925, break them down, 9 different professions for the most part. Mm-hmm. And if you look at them today, break them down, same 9 professions. They've earned all this equality and all this right to go work, get an education, whatever else, and they still do the same thing they were doing 100 years ago.
Wow.
So, and they'll blame it on the patriarchy. They'll say, well, it's men's fault. Well, not really.
Oh, speaking of this, I saw a video. This guy went up to a whole bunch of girls, and he was just a random guy. He had a $20 bill, and he's like, "Hey, I'll give you $20 to yell at the top of your lungs."
I've seen that.
You seen that video? Yeah. And the girls were like, "No." He's like, 40. They're like, no. 60. No. 100. No. And then he goes up to the first guy, and he's trying to prove a point that men are willing to work.
Oh yeah,
compared to women. Yeah. And the dude, he's like, seriously, just yell at the top of my lungs, and he's like, yeah. He's like, okay. He walks over and he just and he's like, all right, man, $20 is yours.
I'd do it for 5, honestly.
I know. Yeah, sure.
Oh, that was a great comment. I'd do it for 5.
Well, it's like one of my favorite podcasts is called the
Whatever Podcast.
Not the Whatever Podcast. It's the it'll come to mind. It's an odd name, but I like it. But it's street interviews, right?
Okay.
And the guy just
you told me about this guy, and he's asking like serious questions.
Yeah, he asks questions in a critical way, and he asks all the women. He asks, "Would you rather never work another day and not earn another dollar, or would you rather earn $100,000 as a sewage worker?" And all the women were never work another day, but never earn another dollar. And all the dudes were like, $100,000.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Which I would do.
Right.
I might.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Heck no.
I wouldn't do it. That's where he leans liberal.
No, I just feel like I could put my mind to something else that'll get me $100K.
That's okay. Do you have something in mind that would do that?
Well, today we were actually remodeling a house, and one of the toilets was taken out, and I was already smelling the sewage. So I was like, okay, this is a little bit better. It wasn't as strong.
You'll stay on top of the ground, not under the ground. Gotcha. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Sweet. So tell me what you do again, because I picked you up from...
Yeah, you were picking me up from our office, actually. So I work in the remodeling space. So I specifically focus on marketing, face-to-face marketing.
That's what I remember.
We'll open up shops inside of like Walmarts, and we'll build out our product there. And I'll build teams, and we'll all like communicate with the customers. So I focus heavy on that. I'm in between basic and intermediate for sales. So I can go inside of the home and actually sell the project, take the measurements and whatnot. And then now I'm like rookie installer. So I'm a homeowner. So I'm thinking, well, why don't I learn how to remodel a bath, do kitchen, floor? It's just going to benefit me in the long run.
Absolutely. That's a good skill to help. When it comes to your job or the company you work for, is it more of a liberal company? Or are they kind of like in between?
So we're a veteran-owned company. So that's
a conservative company. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Most of our customers are veterans too. So
that's awesome. Okay, that's actually you could do content just on that.
Oh, for sure.
Like you could probably interview the veterans that you're helping and do like a time-lapse video of the work that y'all do in the home. Oh man, you can make some money off TikTok.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of ironic, because when you say the first thing that comes to my mind when you say marketing, because I came from 12 years.
You did not come from marketing, Nick.
Dude, I did too. I worked at marketing boutiques. I worked for the Chicago Tribune. I was a marketer. I was a copywriter. All we did was marketing. All we did was mail campaigns and online campaigns.
You're saying everything that's obsolete right now, but okay.
So what?
Those still work.
So what? I'm also saying for the last 12 years.
Don't defend him.
Anyway, you say marketing, especially in DFW or any market, I think liberal, dude. Because you go to like these creative marketing boutiques where you have to use the proper pronoun.
Right.
Everyone's got their
an effing break, dude.
Their colorful hair.
Right.
I think,
pronouns are pissing me off too. Like if I see pronouns in a bio, swipe.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying that I'm not dating. I'm talking about like if I'm just looking at a profile on social media. Yeah. And I'm saying I want to connect with them on the podcast or whatever. I'll swipe it.
They're probably from California or New York at that point.
Yeah.
Or Oregon.
Wait, do you have some connections to Oregon?
I lived in Oregon for a year.
That's right.
Yeah, I was telling you about that riot.
Okay, yes. Let's get into that because I remember you saying you were on the ground level.
Yeah, so I was actually in downtown Portland. I was just skateboarding on my day off, and they were protesting because they passed that law where people were going to be criminalized if they try to abort their child, something like that.
Roe v. Wade?
It was in 2022.
That's Roe v. Wade.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So I was just minding my own business and I see what appears to be like a Christmas parade of just people in mass and a bunch of rainbow colors and stuff like that. It's just a combination and they're literally busting windows and they're busting cars. And I was thinking in my mind, I was like, you guys are busting property of people who are probably supporting you. Most of the people in this state lean your way.
Yeah. That's occurred to me a lot.
And the businesses too. The businesses are a lot of family-owned restaurants in downtown Portland too. So I started to record it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this on my TikTok. So I started to record it, and I got approached by several people in a mask, and they started to swing at me. One of them was like brandishing a firearm in a bag, and I was like, whoa. Yeah, whoa. I was like, I'm not against whatever you guys are.
Fascist.
You know, don't do anything to me. You know, don't shoot me. You know,
he started becoming.
That's unbelievable, man.
He went into chameleon mode and he said, "Hey, I'm one of you. I support you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just to not get shot."
Right, and they're like, "Delete the video." I was like, "It's deleted," but I kept it, and then that was about it. And then after that, I went on my social media. And I was like, "Man, like this is crazy. The world we live in right now. This is just crazy. Someone's gonna beat me up." For that.
You did pretty well with that video, didn't you?
Yeah, I got 60,000 views, which was the most for just a regular person. You know, that was a lot of views. You know, a lot of comments too. A lot of people saying, "Yeah, we left Oregon in 2000 and went to dump back then. Yeah, we've been gone since the 90s." Like that was like most of the comments. Wow. No one was supporting in my video. I don't know. Maybe those were the algorithm were people that thought more towards. I was recording it because I wasn't supporting it, you know. So
yeah. Now, did that video get taken down?
It did.
Yeah. So the TikTok, right?
Yeah.
So TikTok censors a lot of people. Even though I like TikTok, you just have to work around their censorship, for lack of better terms.
You like TikTok?
Well, it's because I make money off of it.
Right.
Yeah. And when you make money off of it, you kind of have to adhere to the rules, but you just there's a way to work around the way they censor people, and so you have to say AB instead of abortion. You have to say grape instead of rape. You know, you just got to
self-deletion.
Self-deletion.
Can't say suicide.
Oh, I don't
self-delete.
I don't think that's a good.
Oh, you can't say the S word, dude.
Yeah, probably not.
You know, the craziest thing about that riot was the cops, they typically like don't get involved right away. They wait until it, because I actually, the first time I went to Oregon was May of 2020. Yeah. And I was just visiting around that time, first night. And I was like, I want to go see the city. And they had the police out there with the rubber bullet guns, and they were doing a protest too. But all of the protests out there are always, they turn violent. You see like guys like shirtless, just shoot me. I don't care. Like it was pretty crazy. Like 30 cops with the rubber guns. I was like, wow. This is crazy. It's like a California 2.0, you know?
Dude. Yeah. Wait, did you see riots in California?
I did. Yeah, I used to live in Los Angeles too, so I see a lot of that. It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing over there.
So you said it was in 2022 when it happened in Oregon.
And 2020. I went there to visit. I was thinking about living there at the time.
Were you there during Chaz? The whole Chaz thing?
I'm not familiar with Chaz.
Where they took over entire blocks, entire city blocks.
Wait, was this recently?
Yeah, like 20. Well, it was. I think it was during the George Floyd riots. Is what kind of.
So that was 2020.
Yeah, and so they I don't remember Chaz. That's interesting. Where they blocked off entire like blocks of the city, and it was sort of a community inside of a community where
yeah. I remember that.
I've seen that.
Yeah, you saw that?
Yeah.
You saw the Chaz? Dude.
That must have been around the time from what I saw, because I saw them protesting something, but I was just like going by. I didn't really take the time. Plus, I was scared. I was like, I don't want to get shot with a rubber bullet. Like, I got to get out of here.
yeah. For good reason. He wants to be shot with a rubber bullet.
That's critical thinking.
Right.
I mean,
we're just proving more and more that he's a conservative. Screw being a moderate. He's a conservative.
Yeah.
We're going to label you a conservative.
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought just as time goes by, it just seems I more and more resonate, because the left, whenever I was a little kid, they didn't seem as crazy as they are now,
Yeah, they weren't. They weren't that crazy.
Well, no, Chuck Norris is a prime example of that. Whenever they asked him, because he used to be a Democrat, and they asked him, hey, why'd you switch from Democrat to Republican? He's like, well, the Democratic Party used to represent what the Republican Party represents now. Yeah. And that's why he switched. It was very calm.
Yeah. Well, if you ever get a chance to listen to, you can probably look it up on YouTube. John F. Kennedy's inauguration speech when he became the president. This guy was the Democrat of the time, and he was talking. He sounded like Trump today.
Yeah,
like it was nuts.
Yeah.
Like he was.
I love watching those old videos, dude.
Yeah, nationalism and patriotism and strong borders and.
Yeah, we talked about that in the car ride. I threw out a crazy idea. I was like, what if the assassination of JFK was racially motivated by him appointing, African American people into political spots?
That's right.
He got killed in Texas around the time where people wouldn't have been okay with that. So
that's so true. Yeah, I totally forgot that we talked about that.
That's a pretty good perspective. I mean, you never know. I mean, there's so much around the killing of JFK.
Right.
I think they just released all the files, but it's hard to go through all that because it's so vast.
But I mean, that's if that wasn't the reason, then a lot of people looked at that as a definite advantage. Like we got rid of him for this reason and this reason, but this reason over here, the African American reason, we took care of that too.
Well, it probably was suppressed because they don't want that. I guess they didn't want that to be a kind of a motivator. So I bet you anything that if that was suppressed, it was probably suppressed on the Democratic side. Like if they suppressed the reason why, like maybe this was the reason why the assassination happened, but I don't think that worked for their agenda, so they tried to rework it a different way.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know enough about it except for what I learned watching Oliver Stone's JFK.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Have you seen that?
No, but I've done the whole.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I've done the whole tour multiple times. I went inside of the building and listened to all the audio and stuff like that. It's really sad, honestly, just walking around. I feel sad every time I go over there.
Yeah.
Is this something I can go to right now?
Yeah.
I haven't been there. I need to go to
You got to check it out.
Yeah, the School Book Depository over in Dallas.
There's literally X's on the ground where the bullets are permanently, so you can just go and see. And there's people there every day, even late at night. Yeah. They're touring, and there's like the knoll, the grassy knoll. You stand right there. There's like theories of the other shooter. They saw smoke behind like a wall. You can just watch it all.
Dude, okay.
Yeah, I saw that. I actually took that tour. I did a documentary of the whole thing.
Okay.
I need to go look at this.
That was way back in college. But
we should hire a camera guy and just go.
You should. You literally stand in the window where the guy shot, and they have all the boxes. It's like a business that ships books, and he was a worker there.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you stand in the window. You see the vantage point. It's crazy.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I need to go.
Yeah, have you heard of this is crazy. You should look this up when you get a chance. And I hate saying that to people. Look it up. But the similarities, I know you do. The similarities between the JFK assassination and the Abraham Lincoln assassination. Have you heard all the similarities? Like, and they go on forever. And there's just the most abstract things. Like
we should do a whole episode on that.
Lincoln was assassinated at the Ford Theater, and Kennedy was assassinated in a Ford Lincoln.
Oh my God!
I've heard that
stuff
before.
like that.
That'd be fun.
But there's factoids like that, just like 100 long.
Did they ever prove if Abraham's assassination was racially motivated for?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, because he's the one that was abolishing slavery.
I think it's a foregone conclusion. I think the nation looks at it and goes, "Oh yeah, he freed the slaves, so they got rid of them." You know,
you got to think about it like Nick likes to think about it when it comes to critically, because Lincoln freed the slaves, so he abolished slavery, and who was for slavery? The Democrats. He is the one. The Democrats are the one who created what? The KKK.
The KKK, and then when that didn't work, they created the John Crow laws.
Who started the Republican Party?
Lincoln.
No, black people. Black people started the Republican Party.
Well, I'm sure black people were all about the Republican Party.
Yeah. There was a whole truth meme that was going out there, and it actually listed out all the black representatives that started the Republican Party. It was
back in 1850.
Yeah,
or 1850. Yeah, 1850.
Yeah. So anyway, that's that could be a whole like that. I think that would be a good episode where we just do the correlation between.
I'm all about it, man. I love the.
You want to come back for another episode?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I just thought of this random thought, but do you think some people are born racist? Because
no, I think it's taught.
Because I feel like whenever I was a little kid and I was around people who were different color or looked different than me, like I didn't care. Even when I could barely speak and I was like, buddy, I want to be your friend. But then sometimes I would go around other people and they wouldn't want to be my friend and they could barely speak. So I'm just wondering, like,
I don't think it is. I think it's learned, because when you're young, when you're that young, your brain is such like a sponge, and you can absorb, even if you don't remember what happened at that time. Because I don't remember anything before 5 years old.
I remember very young.
Yeah, like I think you told me that.
Yeah, my dad remembers being 2.
Yeah, so I don't remember that, but my memory's not the best. But I do know that when you're that young, your brain is just absorbing everything it sees.
Right.
And the reason why I say that, it's from experience. I grew up a pastor's kid, still a pastor's kid, but I remember the first movie that I went to.
Still a kid.
The first movie that I went to the theaters was the first Ninja Turtle movie. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Classic. Just saying. Great movie.
The 1989 version.
The 1989 version. Yeah.
Yeah, my dad put me onto everything 80s and 70s.
Great. So you know all the goods. So we were in the theater, me and Dad. I was sitting here, he was sitting to my left. And whenever it was at the beginning of the movie and Raphael lost a sai, like one of his weapons, and then they were walking in the sewers, and they, the other three walked ahead, and then he looked at his one side and he said, "Damn." And then as a kid, what do? I immediately repeat it because Raphael is my favorite turtle.
Me too.
Yeah. And so I repeat, as soon as he said "damn" on the screen, I said "damn." And my dad went whack, like right there on my leg. And so that's just my experience of, like, as soon as I saw it and heard it, favorite turtle, I said it.
Right,
so
I see what you're saying.
The absorption of things.
Well, what about this? I come from a lot of family who is racist. Okay. And I never was.
Well, but
they were trying to make me be racist. Just be like, don't.
That's interesting. That's an interesting perspective.
That's what makes me think, like, maybe are you born to not? I don't know.
I think it's a great question.
That is a good question. I have a hard time.
It's a philosophical question. And my answer to that is, I don't think we're born racist any more than we're born non-racist.
Right.
We're completely neutral. We're like empty canvases just ready to be painted. And so
I do think people are born with common sense.
Yeah, well,
right.
See,
that's actually not true. I don't believe that.
I don't even think that. I don't think we're born with common sense. The only thing we're born with is the proclivity to sin. Because
that's good. That's good. Oh, go.
Yeah,
right. That's great. Yes.
Yeah. So
because we're born into sins, we're born sinners. Yeah. Oh, dude.
Well, I would say we're born with the proclivity to sin. I wouldn't even say we're born sinners. It depends on. I mean, we become sinners, but we haven't sinned yet, right? Mm-hmm. So we're open to sin. We're subjected to it, which is why racism exists. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't necessarily mean we're born racist. Mm-hmm. It means that we choose to be racist or we choose not to be racist.
I saw.
I think, and actually, racism's an interesting thing. I don't even think it exists. But go ahead.
Well,
we'll have that conversation later.
I saw a video because that's what we do these days: is spend all of our time on social media. And it had these two little toddlers running at each other. One was a black toddler, one was a white toddler, and they were just
best friends.
Yeah, they were just loving each other, hugging each other.
That's how I was.
And they said on the video, like, racism is taught.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so that examples like that are what tell me, because I was driving last night, bro, and I have learned that I just have to keep my mouth shut unless they kind of start or spark conversation. But I'm recording. I'm recording everything now. Like
that's smart.
Yeah. And this black lady, I picked her up at the grocery store. She bought a lot of frozen food, so she was stacking up her fridge because she cooks for her family, and we talked about that. But then whenever we passed this barbecue place, she said, "Oh, that barbecue place was so good," and she knows barbecue by her culture doing it. This is how she said it. She's like, "But that barbecue place is ran by people with your culture," and I was like,
"That's crazy."
My culture? She's like, "Yeah, I'm like white people."
So like I guess it lost points to her because it wasn't what she wanted it to be ran by.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. No. She was saying it was a good place. Like she was telling me I should go try this out.
But why did she need to mention that?
Exactly. No,
right.
You're right about that. Yeah. Because she was trying to say that she was shocked that it was ran by white people.
Oh, okay.
Because
it's always
so
a shocker
good.
when white people cook good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was, I shock myself sometimes when it comes to cooking. That's so good.
Are you saying you cook like a black person?
It depends on the dish.
Nick.
Yes, man. My pot roast is divine.
So here's a question. Here's a question along the lines of your question. Are black people and white people different?
Man, I feel like at the end of the day, we're not. But I feel like when you are raised a certain way, then you can come out a certain way. I always look at people. Like I like follow this rapper. He talks about, he's white, but he talks about how he became an orphan, and
Ronald.
He's from South Florida, but anyways, he became an orphan, and like a black family took him, and he essentially he thinks he's black, but he doesn't say like any of those terms or anything like that. But he feels like he's black.
He was marinated in black culture,
right?
Basically.
So if you just hear his voice and you don't see his face, you will think he's black.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. That's one of those like you get someone on the phone and you're about to meet him and you have a total different mental image of him. Then you see him, you're like, oh.
So my dad's best friend is like opposite. He's black and he was raised by white people.
Okay.
And if you just talk to him over the phone, I would listen to my dad talk to him on the phone. I just think that's a white guy.
Yeah. He sounds like this and laughs like.
Shut up, you stupid. Okay. I'm so off track thinking right now because of you, Nick. Last thing I want to ask you about is your social media, because you. Because I was reaching out to you because I think all I had was your email at that time, but I was just communicating with you through social media, through Instagram.
Yeah,
that's how we got connected to get you on the podcast. And then I went back to follow up. I'm the follow up king of the company, so I went back to follow up, make sure you're going to come, because we've had people flake, and it said you cannot communicate with disabled accounts. I'm like, what? I didn't block him. What the crap? And so
so basically, I've been an on and off bachelor for a long time. I've been engaged multiple times. When I'm engaged, I'm very committed to one person. Okay. But whenever I'm single, I'm single. So I had like scaled my Instagram to 4,000 followers, and a lot of them were girls. But if it didn't like work out the way that they would want it to, they would report my account.
Oh my gosh, dude!
And flag it, And that's basically what happened. I had a TikTok, same thing. I grew it to like 4,000 followers, and they would do the same thing. Even on Tinder, I've been taken off of Tinder like 5 times because girls that I've dated in the past, they're like, if I can't have him, no one can. So they immediately try to report my account. Yeah. After you get reported like 6, 7, 10 times, they'll just take your account down at that point, especially if they're all saying the same thing. So
I've had 2 accounts taken down. So
I mean, I was getting traction. So like in May, I was posting, I just was like, let me just try this. So I started posting. My first video had 1,000 views of never trying. And then from there, like I was getting, my page said in 30 days, I had 250,000 views from never doing anything before ever. Just started posting, no sponsorships. And then I got 1,000 followers in 30 days. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I bought like all the recording equipment because I backpacked through Europe for 3 weeks in August. And literally the week before I was going to go and vlog blog, the whole thing. Account got taken down.
Oh my gosh.
But you know,
they're destructive. They're a destructive force, man.
It's women, bro. Like, okay, look,
that's what I'm saying.
I love
man.
my girlfriend. My girlfriend is amazing. Like you've seen what my girlfriend has done for me. I will say nothing bad about her.
Of course.
Yeah, and she's,
there are always,
for lack of better terms,
there,
I'm going to say this because I'm very confident about this. She's obedient. Mm-hmm. Like she asked me permission to post certain things.
I've never had a girl like that before.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Not yet.
I haven't either. It's amazing.
And she's in California.
Yeah, she's a lonely Trump supporter in California. It is absolutely amazing. But I will say this. And I actually find this very, very attractive about her. She's the same way. If she can't have me, she doesn't want anybody to have me.
Right, of course.
She sent me this meme one time where it says, "If you don't, this is how I am. If you don't like it, there's the door." And then when the door opens, there's a brick wall.
Nice. As there should be.
That's a great metaphor.
We should have you on for another episode and just talk women, modern women.
Oh, dude, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be fun.
But yeah,
it'd be
Go ahead.
Lots of blood.
So I just wanted to talk about this. Whenever I was 17 years old, I was talking to my best friend, and it was something where he was like applying for a job, and I was like, man, I really hope you get this job, man. It's gonna be your first job. You're gonna have some money. And he was just like, if God wants it, I'll get it, and if I don't, then it'll happen whenever it's right. And it just like blew my mind. I was like, wow, you're right. Like,
that's faith.
You know,
bro.
we can't just like, you know, it will happen when it's supposed to. So whenever my account got taken down, I just was like, you know what? It sucks, but life is taking me a different way. You know, now my screen time on my phone went from 8 hours a day to like 3. And now I'm like, now I feel like a millennial again and not so much a Gen Z. So I like this, you know, I actually fall asleep at a better time. Like I was falling asleep at 2 a.m. every day scrolling. Now I go to bed at like 11. So this is good for me, you know?
No, that's good.
Can I give you some advice when it comes to social media? And this is what, because I've had 2 accounts taken down via Instagram, and they were both disabled. They were both kind of the same scenarios of what you're going through because of, I don't know if it was women or just people in general that they just didn't like what I was putting out. I put up a scripture one time and I got reported.
Wow.
So this is what I would encourage you to do. And this is what I found to be the most successful, especially, our Instagram is our biggest account right now. And so we're approaching 36,000 followers, and I don't spend much time on Instagram other than posting. So when it comes to like your vlogs and everything that you're doing, I would say always post it on TikTok, but you need to produce more than you consume.
That's definitely my problem because I'm like communicating with a lot of people. Like I was using Instagram as a dating app.
Yeah, don't do that. I mean, I used to, Erica, I love you. I'm not saying this to upset you, but I used to do the same thing. Okay, and I found that to not be the best way to do it.
That's for sure was the demise of my account.
Yeah, but I did meet Erica on TikTok.
Nice.
Yeah, she's a one of a kind unicorn. Just saying.
Yeah. One of a kind unicorn.
One of a kind unicorn.
Only she's not actually a unicorn. She is a girl.
And so, Nick, you understand.
So when I was 22, I actually moved to Los Angeles with the intent of becoming, an actor. I did community theater at the age of 9. My mom told me if I wanted to, I could be famous. You know, so I always believed that. I went out there and I saw the light. I literally met my favorite celebrities. Was right in front of them. I worked at a 4-star restaurant. They would get food for me, and I saw the life that went with it. Yeah, where it was like I was on one TV show. I was on People's Court, but after that, I was like, I don't think this is for me. So I had that realization. So then again, I switched up on myself. Whenever I was like, I got a little taste where I was like, I got 1,000 followers in a month, and I was like, man, you know what? Maybe I can be famous again. But I feel like God was telling me again, like, listen to yourself. It's not your destiny to be famous and to have a lot of people following you. That's not your path.
Well, let me also, because I think what God is telling you is true. But I actually watched a video for Mr. Beast, the most famous YouTuber on the face of the planet, and they asked him a question like, "When did you start getting noticed?" He's like, "Honestly, after I had 1 million followers, no one knew who I was." Right. He's like, I would get some people, not a lot, saying, "Oh, are you Mr. Beast?" at 10 million followers. It wasn't until he had like 100 million followers that he became like this uber famous person. So I say that to say this, like, gaining 30,000, 40,000, 100,000 followers on Instagram, you're not going to be famous.
Right.
You know, but it will open up doors for you.
That's a good point.
And so one thing, and if you really do want to continue down this acting road, we're good people to be connected to when it comes to all that. So, but one thing that I always tell him, my anger's coming out, Nick, I'm sorry. He hates social media. He hates it, but he wants the accolades that come with having a social media presence.
I don't know where you
I'm not
that,
done.
Man.
I'm not done.
Well, you're
I'm
spouting lies.
I'm not spouting lies.
That ain't true.
Because I tell you that the best way social media is free, and it's free marketing person over here. So, but every time I try to tell him, you are obsolete.
Then what do you?
I'm trying to say, but if you're a marketing person, you understand the importance of promotional value.
I do, and what have I always said? I'm not interested, man.
But that's the thing.
You talk about
you're
how
interested in writing, right? You're interested in writing. You're interested in
Listen,
acting.
man, we can't talk over each other. And you've been
blabbing. I'm not done ranting. So you can sit here and try to talk over me and interrupt me, but I'm not done ranting. But when it comes to the promotional value of having a social media presence, you still don't get the importance of that because you don't want to put in the work that actually comes with building that audience.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And I've told you, I'll make it easy for you. Just give me one video a day. I do 6 to 9. Give me one, Nick. Just one. And you can't do that.
What you're saying is so untrue when it comes to my character and my personality. Now, you're saying it's true. Yes, I believe it takes a lot of work and blah, blah, blah. And you gotta.
And you don't want to do it. You've admitted you don't want to do it.
Yeah, I don't want to do it.
Okay, but you do want what comes with doing it.
Which is what?
Which is the ability.
Accolades?
Yes, the accolades.
When have I ever said I wanted the accolades?
Because you want to be able to go, like, would you want someone to call you?
Okay.
Listen, would you want someone to call you as an actor? Because you said you wanted to be an actor. Would you want someone to call you and say, hey, we want you in this without you having to audition for it? Would you want someone to do that?
That is a ridiculous question.
Answer the question. Would you want someone to do that?
I would rather audition.
You're saying that them knowing your talent, just coming to you say, "I want you for this role." You wouldn't want to.
You're saying that
he's trying to side.
You're saying a presence on TikTok is going to avoid all that?
No, I'm saying.
Look, we're running out of time, and I got to ask Jacob a question.
I'm saying that you can. Nick. No. Let me finish my statement.
Listen, Linda.
Shut up.
Linda.
What I'm saying is, if you have that presence, if you have that following, people will just come to you and offer you that stuff.
I know. It's always been that way.
Anyway, no, it hasn't. It's just a new thing.
Exactly. Jacob.
Go ahead.
This is a serious question.
Okay.
So I want you to think about it, all right? Don't just jump to the first conclusion that comes to your mind for the sake of answering the question, because it's sort of the cornerstone of who we are as people. Okay? Prepared?
I'm prepared.
Hurry up.
If you were asked how many tattoos you have, would you have a number?
Oh, goodness.
Or
I don't. I never do.
You never do?
Yeah.
You just consider it all one big tattoo?
Pretty much. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about this. When I was in high school, I used to just draw on my hands with pens and just walk around school. No one would really tell me anything.
Your first temporary tattoos?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my gosh, Nick, I want to punch you.
And I didn't
bad.
want tattoos after that. But one day I just...
Do it. Come on.
I'm sorry. I interrupted. Go ahead.
I'm just one of those people where I'll just wake up and I was just like, I want tattoos. So I just did it at the age of 22. I was like, I'm just going to do this, you know?
So you didn't have any before the age of 22?
No, but my dad was a tattoo artist when I was growing up as a little kid. So I would just watch him tattoo himself and his friends. So I feel like the fascination started there. Okay. But he told me not to get him. He was like, listen, if I could, I would just get rid of all these tattoos I have. Don't do it.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
He always told me
I can see that you kind of...
Are you leaning that way?
Well, he put them all in the same the spots to where he can cover them up.
I'm still at an age where it's like,
what?
I don't
like if he wears long sleeves.
Do you see his sleeves?
I said if you wear long sleeves, Nick, listen, open up your ears.
All right.
Yeah, you know, it was so funny at my last job. I showed up like suited and booted, and then they hired me on the spot. And then
you showed up with short sleeves.
The day one, I showed up with short sleeves. The boss was just like, I think we made a mistake. Too late. I'm already in here.
Sucker. That's discrimination.
All right. Any other last questions before? Because I think we need to wrap, right, Michael? Okay. Well, don't tell me that. Okay. So we'll go ahead and thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We'll definitely have you back. Yeah, you're good to banter with. We definitely need to start talking more about. You're a conservative, bro.
I know I am.
Yeah.
It's just a little more each day, you know.
Yeah. I don't think it's a little more each day. I think you're seriously a conservative. Now you may have to because I used to be the same way where I would be reserved. You know, I would be reserved with my conservativeness, and I wouldn't be so outspoken about it. But you know, sometimes there's going to be a switch that.
One of my issues is I don't watch the news. My dad hates that about me. Yeah. He's like, you need to watch the news. You need to be informed and stuff like that. And that's where I kind of feel like.
Are you on social media? You're like, when you get your information from social media?
As of now, I'm just like, I'm on Facebook, but I don't really use it that much.
Oh, okay. Like, I get all of my news sources from like conservative creators.
I see like my phone like suggests like a few things here and there, but I'm really just not into the news. Like, I think it's also because I'm just I work a lot. I work like 50 hours a week, and I commute like an hour and a half each way. So it's like,
oh gosh,
yeah.
I think I asked you this downstairs. Did you start Ubering yet? Did you start?
Not yet, no. Okay. So I actually started picking up additional work within my company. So it's like, I still plan on doing it pretty soon though.
I will say this: it's an easy wage. Like and I think I told you this in the car, but like it's so easy just to sit there and talk to people and drive them places.
I love driving. I hate commuting. Like if a point A, point B. Yeah. I've done like food delivery, and that's like no big deal to me. So and I like talking to people, so I feel like
it'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Just be careful what you say.
Too. Yeah. Well, just be careful what you say. Let them guide the conversation and record everything.
You know, I've been in quite a bit of Uber rides, and we never talk about politics.
I'm the special one.
Imagine that.
I'll talk about it when people bring it up. But if people don't, I'm talking about how about those Dallas Mavericks? You know, those Cowboys they just lost. I talk mostly just bar talk, gym talk, stuff like that.
That's probably pretty smart. Actually.
Yeah, Nick was very upset that we have two more things to talk about. He was very upset that he was missing the Cowboys game.
Now wait a minute, what did I say, Nick?
Hang on, but I'm about to tell you that I was right. Because guess what the score is?
I don't have any idea.
17-6 Lions.
That doesn't.
I was actually in Kansas City during the Dallas game. I was going to go to it if I wasn't going to family for Thanksgiving. I would have loved to have been.
Oh yeah. I know a lady.
Wait, they beat Kansas City at Kansas City?
Yes.
I still think they're going to disappoint.
No, it was in Dallas, wasn't it?
No, it was in Kansas City. Oh, it was in Dallas.
That's why I couldn't go. I usually go to like 3 Cowboys games a year at least.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because I know a girl at the gym who was at the game.
I'm going to go to the LA game.
For the Chiefs.
The Rams and Cowboys?
I'll be at that game for sure.
Okay.
Which one?
The Rams game.
We playing the Rams?
Yeah, it's like on the 21st.
Oh my God.
I'll be there.
All right, last thing.
In a Rams jersey.
Freaking LA. Last thing we're going to talk about, Nick, is you wanted to say something about the new AG.
That's a long conversation, dude.
How much time we got, Michael? Okay, well, just say it.
What did he say?
There's no one else coming in after us.
There's no one else?
Yeah, what's the AG?
Yeah, so in the news, Trump just got a new AG.
Did you just notice how he started slowing down his speech whenever he got the green light that he could keep talking?
Nice.
I didn't.
In the news.
I was announcing, it was like a headline. Headlines are bigger and bolder than the actual text.
Okay, all right, just say it.
Man, why do you got to criticize every little thing I do? Everything. You got something in your teeth too.
Yeah.
So
oh, really?
Yeah, it's like spinach or something.
I can't see it. Hopefully, it's
the camera's picking it up. I'm sure.
I hope it's been there the whole time because I hope people start commenting on it.
That'd be awesome.
And now that you said
you don't have anything in your teeth, moron.
Just say what you're gonna say, man.
So Trump assigned a new AG, a new AG for the AG, which is assistant AG for the AG. AG being Attorney General, right? And this is great. I read this news article today, and I was, oh my gosh, doesn't that just say it all? So because she's a woman, and
he's a self-proclaimed misogynist, by the way.
I am. Yeah, I'm self-proclaimed. Yeah.
No one else says it?
No one else self-proclaims as misogyny?
No. He's saying, does anyone else say that you're
like women?
Misogynist?
Oh, probably behind my back.
Never to your face.
Or to each other.
Oh, okay.
You know what? They can say it to my face if they want. I don't care. Because it doesn't mean anything today. Misogyny today just means I believe men and women are different.
Okay.
I don't think most people think it means that.
Well, I know, and they're probably
go ahead, Nick.
Called misogynist.
So,
and I don't know why you even mentioned that. All I said was she's a woman. That's because she's a woman.
And she's a woman. And she's a woman.
Well, that's kind of impressive that a woman would hold that position.
Oh, you said it that way. Oh, okay.
All right. So she got appointed by Trump to be the assistant attorney general last week. This was like a week ago.
Yeah.
And the first thing she did was to send out just a mission statement. That's all it was. It wasn't like a budget cut, or she wasn't trying to create any new rules for, protocol or guidelines. Just a mission statement to the civil rights division of the federal government. And all it said was, we are no longer going to be a two-tier justice system, meaning rules for this group and rules for that group. We're going to give all Americans equal justice.
Oh, praise the Lord for that. Come on. That's talking about people in Congress too, right?
I'm assuming it means people in Congress, but it also is school boards, local school board, everybody.
Interesting.
Good.
And immediately, 1/3 of her entire staff resigned.
Wow.
Because, yes, they were all of the left-wing pundits that were used to, suing school boards because they wouldn't let boys play girls' sports.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Dude, let's freaking go.
Let's freaking go. That's over 100 federal lawyers quit. Boom, right then and there.
That is awesome.
They quit, I believe, en masse like that because they thought, strength in numbers. If we all quit together, she'll have to peel back her mission statement. And she was like holding the door open for them.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So
wait, what do you think about that?
I was just thinking, my brain went elsewhere when you said about sports. I was thinking in 2010 when I played football, there was a girl on the opposite team who was a football player, and she was a lineman. And I just,
what?
Yes.
My God.
No one said anything.
Was she good?
She was big. She was bigger than me.
She was big.
Yeah. And I just remember thinking in that moment, I was like, man, I know what it's like. I'm getting cracked by 250-pound guys every day. I was like, if she wants to do it, I was like, more power to her. She kind of looks like a guy with the pads on anyways.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the kind of thing. For a woman to play football with the boys, she has to be like the above average woman. Like, this wasn't your normal, everyday garden variety woman.
She's like 5'8", 220.
That's big. I'd date her. But anyway, because there's built-in humility.
As long as she's squishy.
She's squishy. I like them squishy.
She's pretty solid, bro. She had a big back.
Big back.
All
big
back.
Really? That's pretty frightening. But anyway, but for a dude to play a woman's sport, he kind of has to be like the subpar, sub-average guy.
But yet he still dominates. Like,
he doesn't dominate in male sports and men's sports.
No, he'll dominate in women's sports.
But then he'll go to women's sports.
Yeah.
And dominate.
So that's
what I'm saying. The difference is a woman has to be above average considering the baseline.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And a guy has to be kind of below average considering the baseline. And I think that's the difference. So if a woman wants to play men's sports, go right ahead.
But the thing is, she's not trying to say she's a man to play men's sports.
Exactly.
There's a total difference there.
Yeah, she's just trying to blend in, and I've seen it on wrestling teams in high school too.
Yeah.
It's not like, look at me. It's more just like, I'm about this. I do this.
Yeah, but they're not saying, they're not going saying, hey, I identify as a man.
Yeah, it wasn't that at all.
It wasn't that.
It wasn't that.
She was a woman and she just wanted to play football.
Right.
Guys are not doing that. They're not just saying, well, I just want to play basketball, so I want to be on the women's basketball team. No, they're saying, I'm a woman, so I'm playing women's basketball.
Yeah, they're proud to be a woman playing a man's sport.
It's ridiculous.
I'm against that for sure. I seen like specifically the swim girls that were like getting their records beaten, and they're just so sad, spending their whole life. And then
you're talking about the Riley Gaines thing?
I don't know their names, but it's like you could just tell this person is like way less time in the sport, and these other girls are like entire lives. Come on, man.
Well, that guy that
Leah Thomas.
Leah Thomas.
Yeah.
He was like ranked 412th or
it was
something
terrible.
like that.
He was terrible in the men's.
And then he went over identifying as a woman and got first place. I'm like, God.
Yeah. It's like,
we have to protect our women. That's all I'm saying, because I'm a misogynist. And we have to protect our women from...
Are you trying to redefine misogyny to say I love women?
What?
The glitch that just happened in your face.
It didn't make any sense, Nick.
You're saying like, oh, I'm a self-proclaimed misogynist. Now misogyny means I love women because you're saying I have to protect women.
No, I have to protect them. Well, okay. That's the same thing to you.
No, I'm saying we have to, like, let's just go ahead and redefine it because they redefine everything.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like, I
am a self-proclaimed misogynist, which means I love women.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I don't even think you have to redefine misogyny. Misogynists love women.
They do. but they just make their own rules and stuff like that, right?
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like misogyny.
Yeah, misogyny means you hate women, right?
Does it?
That's what it means. Yeah.
Well,
I feel like it's mistreating them within your own rules, right? That the women wouldn't agree with.
This.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to follow you. I think misogyny, a guy that says, I think it's up to men to protect women. I think it's up to men to provide for women. I think
that's
up
not
to
hating women, though.
No, but that's misogynistic today.
Well, how
that's misogynistic to the left, yes.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the definition of misogyny, that means you hate women.
Right.
Well, well, I mean, perhaps so, but where's the consensus anymore? Definition comes from consensus, right?
Definition comes from fact. Like, that's what it's defined. You're talking about, like, we are the ones that define the words?
There's no fact that's going to support what misogyny means. The consensus decides that. Now, there's facts that would support what the moon is made of. Okay, fine. Okay. But when it comes to defining terms, it's like, well, what does it mean? And then we take a consensus. And if the consensus is men who want to protect and support women, then that's a misogynist.
Oh, gosh.
I wish I had a Neuralink chip to like chat GBT this right now.
Oh,
I told my dad I wanted a Neuralink, and he was like, "Please, son, don't put that in your body."
All right, we're gonna do this
Neuralink?
again.
I want one.
It sounds like sci-fi.
Sorry, hang on.
Yeah, it's a chip that like lets the people that can't move their arms like
stop it.
Move technology and stuff like that.
Yeah. Wow, that's
they put it in a few people.
Dude, wait
what does misogyny mean?
He's doing the feature I wish I had.
Oh, it's connected to my head.
Nice. Tell us what it's saying. Or read it.
Oh, I didn't know these were on. There we go. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Let's try this again. This is so stupid.
That's how good LIVV audio headphones
were.
Yo,
chat, what does misogyny mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So misogyny is basically a term that means a dislike of or prejudice against women. It's kind of that deep-rooted bias or attitude that treats women as lesser or is just hostile toward them. So that's the gist.
Yeah.
Well, that's the definition of misogyny, but what constitutes disliking
women? Saying, but you're trying to say what's the consensus, and what you're saying is the only way these words are defined is whenever we all agree this is what this word means.
Well, yeah, but that's sort of an underbelly to what does the left think mistreating women is? Is holding the door open for a woman mistreating a woman?
No, I see.
Because the left will say it is.
The left will say it is. Yeah. Yes, they're saying you're not supporting their independence.
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay, open your own freaking door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I'm
pave your own damn highway.
I'm thinking about this right now. Just speaking of opening doors. So I used to travel in ministry, and we had about 10 guys, 10 girls on the team, and this is ministry. So like we love each other, Right. And I remember on Valentine's Day, the guys made this video about what the team would look like if they had no girls. And so it was like a whole bunch of macho stuff. We went out to steaks for every night.
Nice.
And so the girls, I think at the end of the year, wanted to do kind of a tribute to us and say, well, let's see what that would look like in reverse. What would the team look like if there's no guys on the team? That was hilarious. And they put some cinematic flair behind it, dude. You would appreciate it, because it started with caption, what if that was reverse? And all you hear is this clanking in the background, and it's a black screen, just clanking. And then it just kind of comes to this, one of our girls who is running into a door because there was no guy to open the door for him. And I was like, oh, that was genius.
That was fun.
So anyway, I had to say that because we were talking about.
I hate when you hold a door open for someone and they don't say thank you. I just want to grab them and close the door.
Oh. Yeah. You don't appreciate this? Okay.
Yeah. No,
I can show
taking
you
it back. I would never do that, but the other side of my mind wants to do that sometimes.
It's polite. It's human politeness.
Is that the conservative side or the liberal side?
I don't know anymore.
Okay. All right. I think we can end it there. That was a great thing. I'm sorry. I'm still laughing. All right. Patriot Mobile. PatriotMobile.com/NRP. If you go to PatriotMobile.com and then also put in the code HOLIDAY25, you will get 2 months free. But if you go to PatriotMobile.com/NRP or just put in the code NRP, it's 1 month free. Please support us. And they are the best cell phone company out there. Live Audio, LIVV audio.com. Put in the card NRP, get a 15% discount. Jacob Arvizu.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
got it right.
Got it right. Jacob, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
I know, dude. I love talking. And he learned that whenever we were in the car.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure he did.
We will pray this out, and we will be done with this episode. This is a good episode. I like this.
This was fun, man.
I really am enjoying our new studio. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you staying a little bit later. Lord Jesus, thank you for this time, and give us a safe ride home. And may your name be praised even while we sleep. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. You reminded me that my truck's about to break down.
See you guys. That was good. Look how you
that was good.
Get that comment.